Hello, fifth graders. I have been pretty impressed on the different experiments you've come up with to decide whether air has weight. And if you found that yes, air does have weight, you would be correct. Now, if we were in the classroom, I usually use a meter stick and a full balloon on one side and an empty balloon on the other side, so we can test which one weighs the most. Now, I found a similar simulation that I'm going to share with you today that shows the same thing. You'll notice that this meter stick has two empty balloons hanging from it. And if I were to blow up one balloon, do you see how all of a sudden this side is going down? Right? And if you remember back from younger grades when you played with the balance, you know that when one side goes down, it has the most amount of weight. All right? So yes, air has weight. Air takes up space, air has weight, and air has mass. Okay, all science words. And I'm going to direct you to a website here that connects air with what you learned in fourth grade. Because if you remember right, any solid has atoms or molecules. Okay, and if it's a solid, those atoms are tightly packed together. Okay, if it's a liquid, you see those atoms are starting to move around a little bit more. Okay, but we know that solids and liquids both weigh. So if we move to a gas, okay, and remember air is a gas, do you see all of a sudden those atoms and molecules are floating around a lot more spread out. All right, so this might be one of the reasons why it's harder to feel that air has weight, but air is still made of atoms and molecules just like a solid or a liquid. Okay, so air is matter, air takes up space, and air has weight. All right, so now that we know that air has weight, today we're going to experiment a little bit. I'm going to link this simulation on to Schoology. So for your science assignment today, you're going to see how is oxygen, how does that act differently than argon? Or how does it act differently than water? Okay, and just keeping in mind what you learned in fourth grade is all three of these contain atoms and they have weight. All right, and then there's some little extras on here that for those of you that really like to experiment and test things out, but you can heat it up and cool it down. You can change it in between states to see how the atoms react.